So anxiety is hard to talk about. It's one of those things that everybody experiences to some degree, but some people experience to an extreme degree. And the most helpful thing you can do for yourself if you have anxiety is to seek professional help from a therapist, from a social worker or counselor, from a cognitive behavioral therapist, from a psychiatrist to consider medication. There are also therapeutic self-help resources like CBT books, like flow charts, like support groups, like journaling. I've done them all, they've all been incredibly helpful, but I've also come up with ways to manage and to reduce the opportunity for anxiety to come into my daily life, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And like ideally, I want to change my anxiety to suit my life. I want to live without thinking about anxiety. However, in reality, there are ways that I can change my life to accommodate and to minimize my anxiety. I'm very self-conscious about using anxiety as an excuse, and I don't want to shape my life or to be less exciting or daring or risk-taking because of this thing that my brain was born with. But the fact is, there are things that I can do to make life easier for myself, and I'm gonna do those things. For example, I don't check the subway or the bus schedule before I get to the station. If I know that a bus is 1 minute away and I am 3 minutes away, I'm just gonna freak out for all 3 of those minutes and rush and get sweaty and miss the bus anyway. So I don't check it. I'm gonna walk as fast as I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna get there when I get there, and I'm just gonna wait for the next bus or subway. And I do take the bus to and from work instead of the subway here in New York City because at rush hour, the subway is freaking crowded as heck. It's hot, it's often delayed, and it frequently stops between stations in the tunnel, just sits there for several minutes, up to 25 minutes I think I waited before, without saying anything. And I don't have claustrophobia or agoraphobia, but I do get obsessive thoughts about when are we going to move, what is going on, what is the information, should I have known this was going to happen, how could I have avoided this? It's no fun. On the bus, on the other hand, it is much less crowded, street traffic is mild but usually moves pretty quickly. I can text and tweet and stream media. If there's an issue, I can look at Google Maps and see what the problem is and get out and walk if necessary. I have control over the situation, and that is the thing that anxiety craves. So yes, I sacrifice 10 minutes of my day to take a slightly longer commute on a bus, but you know what? It saves me a ton of stress. Would it be great to be able to take the subway and not have a care in the world whether we stop or go and what I could have done better and when I'm going to get home and just say, oh, it is what it is, it'll be fine, don't worry? That would be great. And on my good days, I can do that, but not every day is a good day. And you know what? If I can choose to do what I can to make each day as best as it possibly can, to minimize the chances to get anxious and mad at myself, I will. And I do this with social situations as well. I tell people what I need as much as I can and as much as I'm comfortable with, which it's not very much. I'm working on it, but I'm trying. One of my big anxieties is annoying people. So when I text a friend 4 or 5 times without getting a response back, my brain just starts into the spiral. I wish I didn't, but I do. So I say to them, hey, you know, I know it's weird, but would you mind just texting me back once you get my message? And you know what my friends do? It means nothing to them, it means the world to me. You can do this at work too. If you don't like phone calls, just say to your coworkers, hey, I prefer to email, would you mind sending me a request that way? It's a small thing, it won't matter to them, but you're doing what you can without mentioning the A word to get what you need. It's advocating for yourself. It's respecting yourself enough to treat you as you would a friend. If a friend made any of these kinds of requests, if a friend came to you with this problem, you would say to them, of course you want to make life easier for yourself. Of course you want to continue to strive to get better and to manage this better and to, you know, get all you can out of life. But in the meantime, why not try to live as happily and stress-free as you can? So that's what I keep going back to, is I am never going to be free, I'm never going to be cured, I'm never going to be completely healed and anxiety-free. And I'm working on respecting myself enough to set up healthy boundaries and to use behaviors that will help me and not harm me. There are going to be ups and downs going forward, but every decision like this that I make and every day that I get through, having managed an event and having lived another day with anxiety and come through the other side, I get stronger and better at it. Living with the brain you got. That should be something they teach us in school. I've got some great resources in the description. I would love to hear what you have to say as always, and I will see you for more VEDA tomorrow.